Hi, I'm Kenneth WAJDA. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photography talks. Today I'm going to talk about finding gear and finding good deals on gear. So I know pawn shops aren't like necessarily the best thing for society because I think they buy stuff for way too cheap and they don't give anything to the person who is kind of desperate for money. But they do come into some film cameras sometimes. And honestly, they don't know what to do with them. Nobody looks at them, nobody wants them, and they didn't pay hardly anything for them, and they are willing to give them away. So I was at a little local pawn shop here in town, and they had this camera, which is a Minolta X700. It also had a cheap off-brand zoom lens. And they had this, a Canon AE1. Both of them have batteries in them. Both of them are working. The Minolta is extremely clean. The viewfinder is absolutely pristine. And the Canon's in pretty good shape too. It's not as clean as the Minolta. They were marked $60 and $50, and I said, can I see them? And I checked them out and saw the shutters were working. And I said, you know, I'll never pay that much, but I can use them to teach photography, and I pick up old film cameras when I can. And the guy says, let me ask my boss, and he says, what would you offer? And I said, I'll give you 10 each. He goes, okay. So for $20, I walk out with 2 SLRs that I can use to teach. And those are decent cameras. And there's no money invested. If somebody drops one and breaks it, we have nothing invested. And I think that those deals are out there. And I think you can go into a lot of used shops, junk shops, antique shops, and pawn shops and not find anything. But sometimes you can. And they had these two, and I was like, I'm in some sense saving them from, you know, a place where nobody wants them. Nobody's going in there and looking for a film camera. But those cameras are out there, and people are taking them there. I'm sure the pawn broker who was selling it to me said, I don't know why they even took this. We shouldn't even be accepting these because nobody wants them. We can't resell them. But if you find one in there, you are in the buying position. You have the advantage because they know nobody wants it, and you have an interest, and you get to set your price often. So use that to your advantage. If you're in a place like that and they say, you know, well, what would you pay? Don't feel bad about saying 10 bucks. They just probably want to get them out of the shop because nobody else is looking at them. And some of them may have been sitting there for a few months or a year. They just want them out, and you can find them. And I did. 10 bucks. 50 f1.7 on that. 10 bucks, 51.8. There was an extra lens with this one, a whole bunch of like blower brush type things in a bag with this one. Same price. You can find them out there. There's bargains to be found. And of course, yard sales, thrift stores, always you can find things. But don't exclude the pawn shops, and you never know what you're going to find unless you look. All right, that's today's photography talk. I've always wanted to do a documentary on photographs of pawn shop people because they just seem like a little bit like some of the pawn shops I've been in seem like these grubby, smoky places and in little hole-in-the-wall type sections of a city. But there's characters in there. All right, that's today's photography talk. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button and the Patreon if you can. Thanks again for watching. We'll talk photography again.